Om Brahmanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gagana Sadrisham Tattvamatsyaadilaksham Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadhi Sakshibhutam Bhavatitam Triguna-rahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. Sada Shiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Pada Shankaram Loka Shankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhasha Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punaha Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Now that we have studied the first verse of the text itself, we chant that as well every class. Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta Gocharam Tamagocharam Govindam Paramanandam Sadgurum Pranatosmyaham. So we also salute to Bhagavan Shankaracharya's Guru before every class. Anyway, last time we started this beautiful text and we saw the first verse, which is in general it is known as a Mangala Charan, and the Mangala Charan has multiple purposes. One is to ask for blessings. The author says every Vedantic text, every Prakran Grantha, the author will always salute either his own Guru or God. They both are one and the same for every spiritual master. So the idea is to get their blessings before they embark on a task. Takeaway for us is we may not be embarking on the task of writing a book, but definitely we travel, we go somewhere, we do our work, etc. So we can also try and learn to invoke the blessings of God in our life. Each time we do any task. Simplest is lighting a lamp in the morning, so our day is covered, and maybe remembering the Lord at night before we go to bed, so that our night is covered as well. So we are covered both ways. The other reason for doing the Mangala Charan is to express humility. That I'm embarking on a task and I know that I'm not capable of doing this on my own. So please bless me. Okay, O Guru or O Lord. He used the word Govinda for both. You can take it as Lord Shri Krishna, or you can take it as his Guru. And he says, this is who Govinda is, Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta, Gocharam Tama Gocharam. So it's the description of the supreme reality. So if you take it as the supreme reality, that's the description. If you take it as my Guru also is the supreme reality. So both purposes are served. Then we went to the portion where he explained the rarity of this birth, the human birth. It's a very rare thing to even get a human birth, considering the fact that among the millions and millions of beings, Humans are very few. I think Gurudev has written about 2% of the population, entire population is human population. So the birth itself is rare. And then to attain full manhood, so much infant mortality is there, right? So even to attain that age of understanding where we can understanding is rare. Then rarer still is to meet a guru. And then rarer still is to understand what the guru is saying. All these things are very rare, and the reason for this is to make us aware of the preciousness of our body, of our birth. You know, it's a very precious birth. Human birth is very precious, so don't waste it. That is the message. Please don't waste it. The Shruti scriptures say that human birth is meant for um, recognizing our own true self, which is none other than that Satchit Anand Parabrahma. So at least try. And we have the backing of chapter 7 of Bhagavad Gita, where Bhagavan himself says that it is very, very rare. Among thousands, only hundreds aspire to come to me, and among those hundreds, maybe one might reach me. So even he says the same thing over there. That has been elaborated by Bhagavan Shankaracharya over here. So we saw that portion, and then yeah, you need graces in life. So to meet a guru is rare. So the one who having this human birth, having reached manhood, and also again, you know, if a person has met a guru and still he has not even attempted to do this, then he's doing atmaha, he's committing suicide. Means what? Means the atma is not, he's not even attempting. So alas, you know, alas. And so the durlabha manusham dev. So he again the same thing. Please understand, it is very durlabha. It's very difficult to get a human birth. And then he went on to say that vadantu shastrani yajantu devan. This self-knowledge cannot be gotten by talking about the shastras. In verse 6, in Kathopanishad, Shruti says that it is not obtained by lecturing on Vedanta. You know, it is not obtained by talking about it, or yajantu devan, worshipping the gods, upasana, kurvantu karmani, doing all karmas. Today we will go more into this aspect. The only way that we can get liberation from this thraldom of sansar is to know the oneness between Jiva and Brahma, Atmaika Bodhena. So Atma and Brahma. Atma is generally referred to the individual self, and Brahman is the totality. Atma and Brahma are the same. This is the realization that has come to, that should be coming to us. And that is the only way of getting realization, getting released, not talking about it, etc., etc., all that. Okay, so we are now on verse 7. Amrutatvasya nashasti vitennetaiva hi shrutihi braviti karmano muktehe ahetutvam svutam yataha. It is clear, svutam is clear. It is clear that liberation cannot be the effect of good works, for Shruti, not Shruti, it's mistake. Shruti herself declares that there is no hope for immortality by means of wealth. Here, the Shruti that is being referred to, or the Shruti that I know, this verse is there in more than one Shruti, is Kaivalya Upanishad. Kaivalya Upanishad verse 3 says, Na karmana na prajaya dhanena tyage naike amritatva manushuhu. This is the verse that we chant when Swamiji's arrive, when we show them Purna Kumbha. Parena nakam nihitam guhayam vibhrajate yat tat yatayo vishanti. So not by work, not by progeny, nor by wealth, but by renunciation alone, I'm reading from Kaivalya Upanishad, immortality is attained. Higher than heaven, seated in the cave of the intellect, it shines, which the seekers attain. So this is what he quotes here when he says that Shruti is saying not by work. So we should see what this work is. Work is karma, actions. And all of us are doing actions constantly from since our birth, we've been doing actions. But what is the limitation of action? So we should see what can action really give us. And there are 4 things which action can give us. It can purify, modify, create, and obtain. So purify is, you know, when they get raw ore from the mines, right? It's purified, like gold is purified to get pure gold. Like, so purification can be done. Or water. Water is purified. In the Middle East, they actually take the salt out of the sea, ocean water, and then that's how they get their fresh water supply. So they're purifying it. So purification can be done. Action can do purification. It can modify. I have a, say a clay vase and I don't want it anymore, so I can break it and I make something else. Or ornaments. I have a chain. I don't want the chain anymore. I can melt it. I can break it and make a bangle or something. So I can modify. Karma is required for that. Create. I don't have. I would like to create a painting. I would like to create a building. I can do that. Action can do that. Action can give me that. Obtain. I don't have something. I can go buy it. I can go borrow it. I can go steal it. Also obtain. I can obtain by beg, borrow, steal. I can beg. I can obtain. That's karma too. So these are the four things that karma can do. Now, when we look at Atma, if we say, I purify, can I purify Atma? Atma or Brahman is already extremely pure, one without a second. So purification is not possible. Modify, it is changeless. It is the changeless substratum. So modification we cannot do for Atma. We cannot modify it. So karma is no good. Purify, we cannot purify Atma. So karma is no good again. Create, can I create Atma? No. Atma is the causeless cause. It is not born, it is not dying. So there is no question of creating Atma. So again, karma is not useful over there. And obtain, can I go buy it? Is it something available in the market? I go buy vegetables or fruits. No, I cannot buy it. Already that's why the Shruti says, na karmana, na praja, by progeny, by progeny, na dhanena. That's why wealth is there in that verse. By wealth, I cannot get it. It's not the prerogative of rich people to have Atma. Atma cannot be obtained by these four methods of karma. And karma is limited. Karma can only do these four things. And because Atma does not fall under the purview of all these four things, therefore, no matter how much action I do, it cannot be a direct means to liberation. Okay? However, understand that we cannot live without action. And so what Shruti tells us is that yes, action you must do, remembering the fact that action can only, because action can purify. So if I can purify gold and I can purify water, I can also purify my mind. So that is the only purpose in this. I can modify my mind. My mind can be modified. It can change. It changes. Okay, creating, no, not, you can create a better mind for the next birth. Obtain, of course, you already obtained it because of your avidya. But purification can be done with karma. Mind can be purified. That is the limitation of karma. Do karma, understanding that that is the limitation. And karma must be done to purify the mind, because without a purified mind, knowledge cannot be obtained. This knowledge of Atmaika Bodha, which he talked about in the previous verse, this knowledge of that oneness between Jiva and Ishvara, Jiva and Brahman, cannot be obtained without a purified mind. Just like if you put food in a vessel which is contaminated, which is dirty, the food which was actually pure and very nice will get contaminated because you put it in that vessel. Same way, the knowledge is very pure. There is nothing impure about the knowledge, but when you put it in the mind is the receptacle to receive the knowledge. So if the receptacle is dirty, then that knowledge which was very clean and pure will become dirty. Means what? Means knowledge becoming dirty in our mind means it will be misunderstood. Either it will not be understood at all, or it will be misunderstood. And that is even worse. Misunderstanding is even worse than not understanding. So that is the difficulty there. So because we need a purified mind, karma is required, but it must never be understood or thought that karma can give me final liberation. The reason that Bhagavan Shankaracharya brings this is in his life, the most he argued with, discussed with, was with the Karma Kandins. The Karma Kanda portion of the Vedas is the bulkiest portion, second portion, Brahmana portion. And it is the bulkiest, and it has got all these yajnas in there where you can get anything in the material world, rain, spouse, child, whatever that you want. But they also claim that this will give liberation. That is where the problem was coming. Bhagwan had what should I say, no problem with them doing karma to get something in the material world. He said, no problem. You want a child, you want a money, you want rain, you want this, that, etc. You do. But don't say that that karma will give you liberation. That's where the problem was. That's where he always argued. And he said, we do not, Vedantins don't underestimate karma. Yes, karma has its power, no doubt, but the power is limited. And this is what he means here, that this amritattva, this immortality, we cannot gain by karma. It is an understanding, and it is not gained by action. This is what he says. Okay. So ahetutvam, so yeah, so this is very, very clear. And therefore for Shruti herself, this na karmananda praja comes in another Upanishad also, but I don't remember it to this point. It is there in Kaivalya Upanishad. All right, now means of wisdom. So the Gurudev has put this book into like subheadings, so which makes it kind of a little bit easier to follow. Ato vimuktai prayateta vidvan sanyastya bharyartha sukhas prahassan santam mahantam samupetya deshikam tenopadishtartha samahitatma. Therefore, because why? Karma cannot give us. We know how to do karma, but karma cannot give us. Therefore, so this is when a statement starts with therefore, is always connected with something previous. I cannot just say, therefore I took an umbrella. I have to say, it was raining, therefore I'm taking an umbrella, or therefore I take the umbrella, okay? So it's connected to the previous verse. Therefore, the learned seeker who is striving to gain this freedom within and who has renounced all his desires for pleasures in the sense objects should duly approach a good and generous master and must live attuned to the true significances of the words of the master. So here comes the importance and the requirement of a guru. So the question is, why do I need a guru? See, if we think about it, there are animals who are living beings and there are humans who are also living beings. But only humans need gurus. Animals don't need a guru. And the reason that animals don't need a guru is they are programmed by Mother Nature to live instinctively. So they live by instinct. They do not have a choice. They do not have the subtle intellect to know good Shreya Praya Vivek. They cannot discriminate. They don't know, you know, that's not their equipment is not equipped to do that kind of discrimination. Is this good for me? Should I not eat this? Should I eat this, etc. Whereas the human intellect is equipped with that power of discrimination. So the human intellect thinks, is this good for me? Should I do this? Should I not do this? It is capable of thinking. Not that every human being is thinking in this way, but the human intellect can become subtle, is capable of becoming subtle, capable of thinking what is right for me, what is not right for me. And when the human intellect is capable of such thinking, then to know what is right, I need some guidance. That's where I need the guidance. Because if I think what is right for me, if I decide, maybe it is not right for me. Maybe it might not be correct for me. And the senses are so powerful. So what will happen is, if I think, no, this world is there, okay, then why would God create this world if he didn't want me to enjoy it? That sort of thinking can come. It comes. Most of us are thinking like that only. The world is meant for me to enjoy. What is wrong with that? Why is this world there then? They don't know. So they think like that. They can think like that. So to tell us, that's why guru is required only for that, because what is correct and what is not correct, what is dharma and what is adharma, we must leave it to the scriptures. If I start deciding what is good for me and what is right for me, my senses will always tell me, Arey, go enjoy. What is all this? Why are you sitting here and doing this? Why are you not watching a movie right now? That's what my senses are going to tell me. So that's why I have to decide first that what is good for me is being told in the scriptures, and who is going to tell me about the scriptures. I cannot read directly all the scriptures. So I need a teacher who has read the scriptures. That's why Brahmanishta and Kshotriya, the one who has studied the scriptures, I need that sort of a person. Deshika means guru. I need that sort of a person to tell me what is right. I am capable of thinking, but I don't know how to think in the right way. There is something known as worrying, and then there is something known as inquiry. Okay, both are thoughts, both are thinking, faculty of the mind. But worrying is that thought which will keep you in circles and will never take you to a conclusion. You will constantly be worried only, and you'll go on thinking because it's wrong thinking. It's like asking, why is fire hot? That question, if you ask, finished. Why is this happening to me? That is a very, forget fire. You know, when anything bad happens to us, that's the first thing we say, why me? Don't I? Does anybody say, no, it's okay, I'm capable of handling this, that's why God is, does anybody say that at first shot? No, they say, why me? And if you go into why me, there will be no answer. There will be no answer. There'll be other answers, but you know, you're not going to even understand those. But if an inquiry is conducted, and how to conduct that inquiry, we need guidance in how to inquire and not worry. So not worrying about a situation, but inquiring, how can I get out of this situation? How can I want to be happy always. Nobody here wants to be sorrowful, right? I want to be happy always, but I am miserable, I am sorrowful. And then I go on worrying about it. You know, yeah, I'm sorrowful, I don't have the job, I don't have money, I cannot go out, I cannot socialize right now, I cannot do this, that, and the other. And then there is no answer. There is no, it's like that. What to do? It's like the answer is only what to do. People tell me also, you know, like this is, I say, what to do? Tell me what to do now. Social distancing, they've said, now what to do? There's no answer. But you can, when you inquire how to get out, and the correct inquiry to get out of all miseries is to understand my true nature. That is the only way. That is the only way that you will get out of worrying and you will get out of a miserable life. And so to inquire in that direction, you need a guide. You need a guide. Like in the forest, you know, when you go, you need a guide because the roads are not marked properly. Like you need a mariner's compass when you're traveling on a boat in the ocean. You don't know what direction you're going into. You need that compass. That compass is the guru. And that compass is required only by us, by humans. Otherwise, animals don't need. So if we are living life like an animal, we don't need a guru. I can just go by instinct. You know, today I want to enjoy this, tomorrow I want to enjoy that. This is it. World is meant for my enjoyment. Then there is no need of guru. But when I start thinking in these terms, that's why we need to do satsang. We need to hear, and then we can this thing. So that's why Bhagwan says that the learned seeker who is striving to gain this freedom. What freedom is this? This is Jivan Mukti is talking about. This is not freedom from little worries here. Oh, I don't have a job. I got a job. Not those petty little things. But the freedom that he talks about here is that oneness between Jiva and Brahma. That is what will give us the ultimate freedom from all miseries, from all worries, from sansar, from this thraldom of change. When you, because sansar is that which changes, and we are always fluctuating, go up, down, today happy, tomorrow sad, happy, sad, happy, sad. Unless you come to that changeless substratum, you will keep going up and down. And that's why we need a guru to tell us how to think. That's the reason. And that's the reason that we need the guru the most. Now, okay, so I get a guru. Gurudev has said, I'm not a mule guru. I'm not going to carry you on my shoulders. So this is what now Bhagwan says here. Uddharedatmanatmanam magnam samsaravaridhau yogarudhatvamasadya samyak darshana nishtaya. Having attained the state of yoga rudha, this term is from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 3. State of yoga rudha, through continuous and well-established discrimination, one should lift oneself from the ocean of change and finitude wherein one has come to be drowned. So this sansar is always referred to as an ocean of sansar. Why? Just as the ocean has, the depth is like unknown, it's so deep, and it's apara, means you cannot see the shores. You cannot stand on Spanish banks and then see the shore at the other end. The ocean you cannot. So that's why this sansar is always compared to the ocean, which is, there is, you don't know the depth of it. You don't know how much you can fall, and you don't see the end. The para means a boundary. So apara means that where there is no boundary. Like ocean is like there is no boundary to it. I cannot see it. And so to get out of this thraldom of sansar, uddhare atmane, this entire thing is from Bhagavad Gita. There, what Bhagavan says there is, lift yourself by yourself. So the lower mind is to be lifted by the higher mind, or you can say the mind is to be lifted by the intellect. It's only you versus you here. This is not a thing of me versus somebody outside. It is me versus me. It is only me. It is all about me alone. That's it. There is nobody here involved. So there Bhagavan says, lift yourself by yourself, because Guru can tell you, but the mind is yours. Guru cannot lift your mind. Guru can guide. Guru can show. That's why the example in scriptures is given is that, oh, there is this thin, second day moon of lunar in the lunar cycle, the second day of the month, of the lunar month, and it's a very thin line. And he says, oh, where is the moon? The one person is saying, I don't see the moon. I don't see the moon. And then there is another person. He says, okay, do you see the tree? Yeah, I see the tree. Okay, then do you see this branch? Yeah, I see the branch. And then, okay, go up to the end of the branch. Yeah, okay, I see the end of the branch. And then he says, now take your eyes straight up to the sky, and that's where the moon is. So the Guru can take you to the end of the branch, but it is your eyes that you need to move to see the moon. So the Guru can tell you, the Guru can point the direction, but the effort has to be ours. There has to be self-effort. That's why Gurudev said, I'm not, means I cannot carry you. I cannot give you liberation, but I can show you the path, and to follow that path is your responsibility. That's why Bhagavan Shri Krishna also says in chapter 6 of the Bhagavad Gita that lift yourself by yourself. Understand that you're falling and make your mind so strong that you can, Guru has told you. Now, the purpose of the Guru is to tell you what is good and bad. Now it is up to you, your willpower. You've been told this is what needs to be done. How much willpower do you have to do it? That is your willpower. Guru cannot give willpower. Guru can guide. Guru can tell. Okay. And this yoga arudha, there are two things. One is when you're trying to, the example is of the horse. When they tame the horse, the horse at first, he will jump and then the rider will fall. So this effort has to be put in by the rider to control the horse. The horse is compared to the mind. The mind is right now not under our control. We are under the control of the mind. Therefore, the mind tells us, oh, sleep another half an hour. We just sleep. Oh, let's go for a movie. Why satsang? Forget it. Let's go for a movie. Let's go have a drink. So whatever the mind is telling us, we are doing. The horse is dragging us around. The horse of the mind is dragging us around. If I want to be yoga arudha is to climb up the steed. So to control that horse, I have to practice. And the rider, once then he sits and then he starts riding, and then the horse comes under his control. So that part, to become yoga arudha, is our effort. To control our mind, that is where the effort has to be put. And that controlling of the mind, effort, action. That's where action is required. It is required to control the mind. Once the mind is controlled, once the receptacle of the mind is cleaned up, once it is purified, then whatever that guru tells, knowledge, when it falls into such a mind, immediately it's absorbed. I
Jaya,
had,
can I ask you a quick question?
yeah.
Do we find the guru or the guru finds us?
Okay, so the way it is answered is, you don't go running after a guru. See, there is a flower and there is a bee, right? The bee goes and pollinates the flower. Is the flower running around looking for the bee? No. What is the flower doing? Blossoming. It is maturing. It only does its job of maturing. And when it matures, the bee who is running around finds the flower and goes and takes the nectar. Same way. The guru also is in search of a good disciple. So that our job is to purify, to blossom, to purify ourselves. Remember that ultimately the guru is within you. There is a physical form of a guru, but the actual real guru, subtle guru is within you. So when you purify that mind to such an extent, the guru will come. Guru will come, appear in your life. You will know this is my guru. So you don't run, you know, this happened just maybe a month ago. I got an email from a lady who told me, no, phone call actually, not an email, saying that I have translated the Bhagavad Gita into her native language, which is not Indian. She's a non-Indian, and she translated into her language. And she just said to me, she said, in the introduction, I want to write that Swami Tejomayanji is my guru. I'm like, okay. I said, and I know her, so she has attended a lot of our yajnas, and all of the yajnas she had always told me, because I used to tell her, why don't you come for classes? And she would say, oh no, I have my own guru. She used to tell me that. So I remembered that. I said, but why are you not writing your own guru's name? You have a guru. She said, recently I have discovered that my guru is no good. I said, oh really? Yeah. And she said, now that I'm listening to Swami Tejomayanji's YouTube videos, because now he's on YouTube all the time, I have decided that he has the knowledge and he's my guru, and I would like to write that in the introduction. So I said, have you translated Gurudev's commentary into your language? Because she has translated a commentary of the Bhagavad Gita, whose commentary I didn't know. So I said, I better ask this. So she said, no. This is by some other name. I don't recognize the name, but you know. I said, why don't you write his name? Because you have translated his commentary. So he's your guru. So you write his name. She goes, no, but nobody knows him. Right? So then I thought, okay, Jaya, watch out. I said, you know what? I have no right to give you permission to write Guruji's name there. And I said, in our tradition, generally, Shishya, disciple doesn't, you know, I can go on saying, yes, this is my guru. I know the prime minister. But does the prime minister know me? Like I said, generally the guru will say that this is my disciple. It is not up to the disciple to say that this is my guru. So I said, I have absolute no right to give you this permission. If you want to ask the permission, you can send me an email. I will forward it to Guruji. He can permit you. It is his job. So she said, I have Guruji's email address. I said, okay, Baba, then you write directly to Guruji. This is not within my purview. You write. So fine. So I forgot about it. And a few days later, I got an email from Guruji saying, this person has contacted me, and do you know him? Actually, the name was so weird that Guruji actually thought it was a mail, because she had only emailed. So then I wrote to Guruji. I wrote exactly this is what the dialogue that has happened 2 days ago, and whatever. Then Guruji replied her and sent me the reply saying, I am nobody's guru. It was a very gentle way of putting, letting her down, because he wouldn't say that you can't write. He said, I have decided in my life that I'm nobody's guru. So that's it. I'm not a guru, period. Because you cannot say, now this guru is no good. Now I've decided this guru is good. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. You just, that's why Gurudev, I'll tell you this is a real. Swami Mitrananda, who is a great devotee of Gurudev, who is my father's batchmate also. So he, I think in Siddhabari, Gurudev was there and Swami Mitrananda was there. And Gurudev told him that, Swami Mitrananda said to him, "You are my guru." And Gurudev said, "No, you cannot say that. The only guru you must say is God, because until the guru is alive, if that guru makes some sort of a mistake, your faith will shake. So you must never make any living human being as your guru." This is Gurudev telling Swami Mitrananda. Swami Mitrananda told us this thing when I was in the ashram. So he said, you must not. So guru is a very, very sacred thing. It is not it is not a term to be used lightly. And when you are ready, the real spiritual master will find you, and the answers will come from within. When you're meditating, if there is a question, if there is a problem, the answer will come from within. And that's how you know that there is a guru, that I have a guru. So does that answer your question? Don't run after the guru. Just purify yourself. Then the guru will come. Like the bee comes, the guru will come. So here, that's why he says, Sausara Varidha is ocean. So this ocean of sansar, if in which magnam, which you are going up and down, you're dubki, in Hindi, they'll say, dubki laga rahe ho, is ocean mein, upar ja rahe, niche, upar, like in the whirlpool, you have gotten caught in this ocean. To come out, you have to put in self-effort. That is what he's saying. So that's why guru, yes, guru is required, but self-effort also is required. The grace is required, but self-effort is self-effort will not come, grace will not come unless self-effort is put forth. People think, because most of the scriptures will say, you cannot get liberation without the grace of God or guru. Then the people say that, okay, then I'll wait for the grace now. When the grace will come, then I will get. But if they have not put self-effort, that grace will not come. It is like the passing mark is 50. You have to work hard to get 48. Then 2 marks you will get grace. But if you only work for 2 marks and you get 2 marks and then you expect 48 marks as grace, you're not going to get that. That is the thing there. And again, I remember Gurudev, because I was there when this happened. Gurudev's Paduka Puja was done in Sandipani, in our ashram in Mumbai, and a batch was going on. And the Acharya and all the batch, the brahmacharis were sitting there when this puja was going on. And then afterwards, the Acharya of that batch said to Gurudev, he said, Gurudev, please bless the students. This is how he said. Means you say something. Means please bless them. These were his words. So Gurudev said, no, the blessings don't come like that. The students have to work hard. And he said, you see that tap there, in the temple. So, yeah. So he said, if you go and sit in front of the tap and, do Sashtang Namaskar to the tap saying, please give me water, water is not going to come. You have to make the self-effort of opening the Tripti's life. She probably has heard this, right? Yeah. Those who have been with Gurudev, they've heard all this. So you have to make the self-effort of opening that tap. Only then that water will come. So he said, my blessings are not that, just like, oh, bless, and I will just bless. No, he said, the students have to work very hard. Gurudev's powerful voice, right? It's like the brahmacharis have to work very fast and very hard. And it is the acharya's duty to show them their real self. Right now, they are like sheep doing meh, meh, meh. They're crying. Now you have to show them what they really are. He told the Acharya also. So both instructions. So that's the importance of self-effort. So that's why karma becomes very important. So karma is important, but it is not the final thing. That needs to be realized. That with action, the action is to be performed to purify your mind so much that you will understand that action alone is not enough to give you realization. That is what it is. You put forth effort. You give lectures, like, all people who have done this thing, they're giving lectures. give lectures just to come to know that, okay, this is not going to give me realization. To realize that you cannot get realization just with the lectures. That's why lectures are given. We're doing that so to realize. So this is what is, that's why he says, if you want to be yoga rudha, means if you want to control the steed of the mind, then you have to put in self-effort. Just like the rider tries and falls a few times, and then finally he climbs the horse and he controls the horse. Okay, so self-effort is important. Now, what is that self-effort that I should put through? Already a couple of verses, he used the word renouncing everything, vairagya, dispassion. So all these qualities will start coming now. Sanyasya sarva karmani bhavabandha vimuktaye yatyantam panditay dhiraihi atmabhyasa upasthitaihi. May the wise and learned man give up all actions which are motivated by desires and start the practice of rediscovering the self and thereby attain freedom from the bondage of birth and death. Sanyasya sarva karmani, a very, very misunderstood instruction. It can be misunderstood. And the reason is because it is saying give up all actions. Okay, now so far he said, you know, without self-effort, no grace, and now give up all actions. So it seems contradictory, but it is not. So when he says sannyas, and Bhagavan says that in Bhagavad Gita also, give up action is not the physical action. The physical action can never be given up, because why? Breathing itself is an action. Are you going to give up breathing? Are you going to give up eating? Are you going to give up sleeping? All these are actions. You cannot give them up. You cannot give up any action. What is to be given up is the doership, the notion that I am the doer of this action. That notion is to be given up. So what needs to be given up is the ego, because it is the ego which is telling me that I am the one that is speaking. I am the one that is, you know, doing this and doing so much and doing that and doing this and all that. That ego has to be sublated, has to be negated, has to be falsified. It is false. That is to be understood. So outwardly, no act. Like if you see Gurudev and all, how much action they did till the last minute. Till the last minute, he was lecturing, and then Swami Purushottamani ji also, in the middle of his foremost disciple, Swami Purushottamani, in the middle of a yajna, he passed away. Middle of the yajna, like 3 days had happened, 2 days. Then his student completed that, and then they did this thing. So till the last minute, and Swami Purushottamani ji had cancer, and knowing that, he could have said, okay, now I've got his, he was quite elderly in age. He's my father's acharya. So he could have said that, you know, I won't do this yajna, because the other students were there, the other Swamijis were there, right? Knowing fully well what his physical condition was, he was doing the yajna. Gurudev also, heart only 20% working. When he did Vivekachudamani in Sudabari, only 20%. Therefore, he was not allowed to speak for more than 1 hour at a time. Not even 1 minute. And they're like, okay, no, you can't speak. Because the heart was functioning only 20%. So for masters like that, so when we look at them, we come to know that no, this instruction cannot be to be giving up physical action. What needs to be given up is the doership behind that. So this is a very important thing. If bhava bandha vimuktaye, vimukta visheshena mukta, means complete freedom from bhava bandha, bhava sansar, bandha bondage of sansar. This bondage, if you want to get out of, what is binding us is not the physical action. This point has to be noted very, because action by itself is inert. See, this speech that I'm doing, it's inert. The speech is inert. Okay, it's being done by a live person. So an action by itself is inert. The one who is doing it is the sentient being. And if that sentient being, the attitude of that being is that I am the one that is doing it, then that human being, that sentient being, see, this animals don't have this doership. Let me tell you, that's the difference. Therefore, animals don't get this ego. They don't have ego. They don't say, cow doesn't say, I have given so much milk and you didn't give so much milk today. No cow will say that to the other cow. No cow will say to you, you know, I'm giving you so much milk, you're not treating me well, you're not giving me green grass. No cow will say that. No animal will say that. We will say, I did so much work for you, you never even gave me a raise. I will say that. Humans will say that. So what, that ego, which is telling me that I am the one that is doing, by saying that, I'm giving a locus for that action to stick to. And that is creating a birth for myself. It's creating a vasana, and those vasanas are creating the future birth. So my actions are what are creating, not action itself, but the attitude behind the action. And the attitude behind the action is this doership. And the way to neutralize doership is to, in my mind, understand that I am an instrument of the Lord. That I would not have been able to function unless I was breathe. The minimum thing is you need to breathe to talk. Like if I have to talk, minimum requirement. Suppose if I was breathless, you think I could have talked? And that breath is dependent on the Lord. That point should be always remembered. Minimum, that's the minimum. You know, everything else, forget it. You know, you have money, you can do this, that, etc. But if you are not breathing, if you could not breathe, if you are breathless, what would you have done? So when I say I did so much, I complete, you know, like people, I'm such a learned man. Are who taught you the first alphabet? In kindergarten, it was the teacher. Your mother taught you to walk. She took you to school. Do you forget all that? Then you say, I did. Everything we say, I. Forgetting all the contribution of the other people in our life. That part has to be remembered. And remembering that will give us humility. That this, whatever, you know, if I'm speaking, who gave me that knowledge? Sandipani did, na? I mean, Sandipani Sadnale, right? So I must remember that. I cannot say, yeah, it's my knowledge. Even Bhagwan, Shri Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, so many places, the wise people say this, they said this, so and so said this. He doesn't even say, he is not saying, I'm saying. And we are saying, aha, me. That part has to be subdued, that I'm doing it. So understand that this is happening through you as an instrument of the Lord. Therefore, Gurudev always gave the example of the flute. You know, Krishna's flute is empty. It is just this thing, right? So he used to say, make yourself empty like the flute and let God's music flow through you. We have our own ideas, then what's coming out is not music, it is noise. And making ourselves empty means subduing the ego. So sanyasya sarva karmani, doership is to be given up. Bhavabandha vimukta, if you want to get liberation from this bondage, thraldom of sansar, give up the doership. Because what happens is, then it does, see, what is giving us pride or guilt is the doership. It is not the action itself. There is an action that I do. If it goes favorably in my way, then I take the credit for it and I feel proud. I did it and I got this. And if it goes the wrong way, the way that I didn't want it, then I'm feeling guilty. And this guilt and arrogance is coming because of the ego, the doership notion. So if that itself is removed and if it is done, okay, so then when there's success, we say, okay, it was the Lord's grace, Guru's grace that this happened. And the guilt will not come also, whatever, if the guilt, okay, I did it with good intentions and now the result. Sometimes, you know, we do things innocently and the result is like, it's not good. Like people misunderstand, you know, people think that you did it on purpose. All kinds of things happen in this world, right? But if in your heart of hearts, you know that you were innocent, means you didn't have that thing, I want to hurt this person, so I'll say this thing kind of attitude, then you're free. You will be guilt-free because in your mind, you know, others might think whatever of you, you know, others might think that you did it purposely, but in your mind, you know. So that's why this doership, giving up doership is become, and giving up suddenly is not possible. Tone it down. Tone it down. That is where we would start, is that we would immediately, if something with, yes, thank you that I could go to a good school. I got a good education. That's why now this has happened. Or Whoever that you can pass the credit on to, please pass it on immediately. Your mother, your parents, your teachers, your whoever, God, Guru, whoever, even this thing, you just pass it on. Okay. The you know, in the arts, the singers and all, when they're praised, they touch their ear. And then one person was asked, I see that whenever I say, I talk about this award you got, that award you got, this certificate, you keep doing this. Why are you doing this? And he said, that is our way of reminding ourselves that it is my guru who taught me, and that's why I got that award. It's not me. This is in classical singing, I'm talking. So even in there they have. Now Vedanta, if you don't have, then how it will be? Can't be. Okay. Yatanta Panditai Dhirehi means Panditai, one wise. Pandit is a wise person. Pandit word is also used in Bhagavad Gita for a realized master, but here it is not we are talking of the seeker. The seeker who has understood the secret of, trying to get out of this sansar. Atma bhasa upastitaihi. So he will Atma bhasa upastitaihi. He will rediscover. Not, see, the word uses rediscover. There's nothing to discover. We already have it. We have to rediscover ourselves to be that supreme reality, and then he will go over this thraldom of sansar. Then Chittasya shuddhaye karma natu vastu palabdhaye vastu siddhir vicharena na kinchit karma koti bihi. Here he talks about karma. Selfless work and charitable acts help to purify the mind, but they do not by themselves contribute to the perception of reality. The discovery of the self is brought about only by discriminative analysis and never by any number of actions. I've already told you, actions can do only 4 things. So then do I not do any action? No, you do action only for purification of your own mind, help to purify the mind, but they do not by themselves contribute to the perception of reality. So what is meant is, na karmana na dhane na prajaya na dhane na amritatva manashu. Man cannot attain immortality through karma. No matter how good that karma is, how noble that karma is, that's it. It will purify the mind, and then the purpose of that karma is served. And the realization is only brought about by the discriminative and discrimination, viveka. So this viveka, final viveka that has to come is between sat and asat. That is the final way. The first, we start with Shreya prayer. What is good for me, what is pleasing. Then there is Ansha Aushi, part and whole. There is Sadhana Sadhya, means and goal. So there are many types of vivekas underneath, below layers, which we need to transcend to come to this Sat Asat Vivek, which is the final Vivek. And we'll be talking about again. Know that karma is the indirect means to liberation. It can never be the direct means. Direct means is only knowledge.
Jaiji, I had a question. Is thinking considered karma?
Mental karma. Thinking is mental karma. Mental. So, but this discriminative analysis, which is thinking, which is inquiry, that karma also is required to reach the final stage. Right. But it needs to be dropped at the end.
Okay.
As well. That is subtle. Subtle karma is always difficult than gross karma. Okay. So when you purify the mind becomes stronger. What is a purified mind? It's a strong mind. What is a strong mind? Why do I need a strong mind? I need a strong mind so that it can stay on one thought constantly. And right. The final thought has to be Aham Brahmasmi or Soham. Because the mind is like a monkey. Right now, do you think our mind stays on one thought at any time? Impossible. It's jumping all over the place, right? So you make it strong, you train it. That's why I say tame the mind. You train the mind to stay on one thought. And in Vedanta, it only is Aham Brahmasmi. There is no other thought. Okay.
Jayaji, namaste. This is Tanu.
Any other questions?
Yeah, this is Tanu.
Yes, Tanu.
Jayaji, so
your volume is very low, Tanu. I can't quite hear you.
Oh, sorry. Is it better now?
Little better. You can video. You can start your video.
Okay. So I was just wondering, how do you drop? You were saying in the end, Vivek has to be dropped. Like sorry, I can't understand that.
I didn't say Vivek has to be dropped. I didn't say Vivek. If you drop Vivek, then you're finished. Not Vivek, you have to reach the highest Vivek is Sat Asat Vivek. What is to be dropped is the doership. That's not Vivek, ego. Ego is to be dropped. The notion that I am doing it. I am the one that, did this. I am the one that did not do that. That I do notion. It is only a notion. The thought. That thought has to be given. And that thought can be replaced by this action happened through me by the grace of the Lord.
Right.
Or by the grace of the Guru.
Okay. Yeah, no, thank you. Thank you.
Vivek can never be dropped. Okay, so we'll stop here. Next week we'll start verse 12. Any questions? Okay, clear? You don't have difficulty understanding, right? Anybody?
Did we do the 11th one?
Did we do the 11th one? 1 minute. Yeah, 11th was Chittasya Shuddhe Karma Natu Vastu Upalabdhe.
Yeah, okay.
One more thing that, okay. Vastu here, Vastu, to gain Vastu. Vastu comes from Vas Dhatu. And Vas Dhatu means to cover. So Vastra, the word Vastra, which means cloth, comes from this Vas Dhatu. So when Vastu word is used in an Vedantic text, it refers to the supreme reality. Please understand. Because normally Vastu means object. So when here it is said Vastu Upalabh, this Vastu is referring to Satchit Ananda Brahma, okay? Supreme reality. Because it is coming from Vas Dhatu, that which envelopes everything. And what is enveloping everything is this Satchit Ananda Brahman. And that's why, and Vastu Siddhi Vicharena. Vastu, again, Vastu here means this to Siddhis. To get this Satchit Ananda Brahma means not to get. We cannot obtain it. We already have it. So to realize my oneself with this Vastu, which is Satchit Ananda Brahma, Vicharena, you need discriminative analysis, thinking. Vichara you need, not worry. Vichara here is inquiry. Na kinchit karma kotivi means not like crores of action. You go on doing action after action. You already mentioned that, you go on worshipping the gods and you go on taking bath in the Ganges, and all those actions cannot give you this Vastu Upalabdhe. Remember that the word Vastu here, any text, even Upanishad, the word Vastu comes. Vastu means Satchitananda Brahma and not any object, which in normal Hindi Vastu would mean. Even Marathi, Hindi, Vastu means object, just an object. Any book is Vastu, computer is Vastu, etc. Okay?
Hello, Jayaji.
Yes.
I have to ask one thing. I was reading somewhere that you have to die before death.
We have to die before death. Yes, we do.
Is it the same thing, like killing the ego or getting rid of the ego before you reach?
Yes, yes.
Okay,
we have to die means my ego has to die before I physically die. Yeah. That is Jivan Mukti. That's what it is. Okay. Yeah. First death is of the ego. The first word, I should die, I must die, that die is ego. Before death is the physical death.
Okay, thank
means
you.
In this life itself, kill the ego. Which is not very easy.
That's when Jayaji, that's when you're liberated.
Sorry?
When the ego dies, that's when you're liberated.
Yes, absolutely true.
But how long you're not liberated, it's not dead. The ego.
No.
Yeah.
Ego is, that's why I said it's very difficult to conquer ego. Ego doesn't want to die. Who wants to die? Nobody wants to die. Ego does not want to die. So you can subdue it. So that's why these principles of Karma Yoga are given. It's difficult to kill the ego, to surrender it. That is the idea. At least surrender it to the Guru, and that surrender will come out of love. So when you love your Guru, you will surrender the ego to him. And what is surrender is remembering that, okay, this is all happening because of my Guru's grace. It's as simple as that. But even that, the ego doesn't allow. It's like, Guru, sikhaya tha, lekin I also have read. We'll close for today.